Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. To make this decoration I'm using a cardboard box, and I've actually marked it all off at the moment. So the cardboard box is 40 centimeters by 34 centimeters, and I'm going in by 3 centimeters on all the sides. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting 6 pieces will go across the box at 6 centimeters each. So I'm marking my cardboard. So I've marked it at the 3 centimeter mark and then the 6 centimeter mark. And on the 3 centimeter, we're going to score that line so that we can fold it over. And on the 6 centimeter, we're going to be cutting that off. To score the cardboard, I'm just using the back of a pair of scissors to do that. And then hold your ruler tight against that and then just bend it upwards. Once you've scored and folded your box, then just cut along the lines so that they're exactly the same. And then just do 6 like that. I've got all my pieces cut out, and now I'm going to take some hot glue and glue them all together. And then the next thing I've done is I've marked in from the 3 centimeter line, which we're going to be gluing these ones onto like that. I've marked in 1 centimeter, and then the distance from there to there is 2 centimeters, and we're going to be cutting that strip out, and then the distance between there to there, each of these divisions are 2 centimeters each. So we're going to cut that one out, leave that one, and then cut that one out, and then we've got a 1 centimeter line on the other side. So I'm going to cut those 2 strips out now. On a spare piece of cardboard, I'm measuring from the top down by 2 centimeters. And I want a width of 28 centimeters. So I'm just marking 28 centimeters, and then marking the middle, which is the 14 centimeters. So going up from the 14 centimeter mark, and that's the 2. So you've got your piece of paper marked up like that. Now going from the 2 centimeter, we're going to try and do a template to just make a bit of a curve. So just like that. So I'm just going to use the one side and then fold the cardboard in half and then cut that out. So I fold it in half and then cut my template out, and I need to cut 4 pieces, so I'm going to cut another 3 because I'm using this one as well. Then I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to glue 2 pieces together. So I've got 2 and 2. Then I found the center of the box, so measuring the width and the length of the box, we've got the center, and I'm marking to make that 3 centimeters wide on the centers of both the lines going down and across, so that we can put our little strips that we made on there. And the next thing I've done is measuring from the 3 centimeter mark to the 3 centimeter mark on the other side there. I've got a distance of 15 centimeters. So I've decided to make a little triangle or a square in the center there, which is 6 centimeters by 6 centimeters. I'm going to cut that piece out. I've cut the strips out now, and the pieces that we made that look like this, I'm going to be gluing onto the side, on both sides of the outer side of this section. To get the little square piece on the corner here, all I've done is I've measured it in the center of the grooves here, and I'm just going to be cutting that small piece off. And then I've got some ordinary A4 printing paper, which I'm going to be gluing onto the top here to make the edge nice and smooth. And the corners of my pieces of cardboard, I'm cutting them at 45-degree angles like that, and then joining them. And the easiest way to do a 45-degree angle is to just take your pieces of cardboard and put one on top of the other, and then just cut from the center point straight down like that on both of them. And now I'm just going to glue the outer pieces on. I'm using hot glue to do that. And now I'm going to be gluing this little piece on. I've already glued the first one on, and now we're going to glue this one onto here. I'm gluing it exactly on the line that we've cut out. I'm measuring the center one, and it starts from that point there and comes all the way to this particular one here, so I'm just going to be cutting that off there. Measuring across from our little piece like that to the end of the box, it's 27 centimeters. So what I've done is I've divided it into two, but I've made this section size 12 and this size 15. So now I'm just going to be placing this small little divide in that section as well as in the bottom here. And the measurements are the same at the bottom as 15 and 12. In this corner I've got a little square that I'm cutting out now, which is 5 by 5, and I'm just going to cut that out so long. And now I'm cutting strips of cardboard of 1 centimeter. You need to cut as many pieces of cardboard depending on the length of your cardboard that you've got, because what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be making the little squares that go in here. So my little square that I'm making is going to be 7 centimeters by 6 centimeters. So just cut enough little strips of cardboard to make a 7 by 6 square twice. So gluing the pieces together, I've got this piece which is the 7, and against it here I've got a 6, and on the opposite side I've got the 6, but I'm going to the top of that one instead of to the bottom, so that I can get a nice square, and then the bottom one will be going to the bottom just like that. And then I'm going to just glue that in place like that. I'm going to be going probably from the top down by 2 centimeters, so there's quite a nice gap at the bottom here. For the circle, which is the reactor, I'm going to be modifying slightly, because on the model that I'm working on, there's only 4 of the divisions. So the size of the circle that I'm going to be cutting out is from the center point. I'm doing a 5.5 centimeter radius for that particular circle. And then I'm just going to take the compass and divide it into 3. So I've got the 3 at the top. I've done the circle, and now what I'm doing is taking it from the halfway mark, which is this line here, and just measuring the point, putting the compass on the end mark, and then marking where it crosses the line, and you'll see it gives you 3 rather nice divisions. And I'm going to be making these divisions 1 centimeter wide to the center point, which is that point there. So just drawing those ones sort of like 1 centimeter wide each. And in the center where all the lines join, I'm taking a radius of 2 centimeters and drawing a circle there. And then I'm going to be cutting these portions out up to the circle, so I'm leaving the circle intact all the way around. Cut a circle out which is 6.5 centimeters radius, and so dividing it just down the center, I'm going to be painting half red and half black. I've cut the little divisions out now. I'm going to be using these snap-on screw caps to simulate the bolts. So they come as two pieces like that, and what you do is you take this little center piece, which is the little plastic one like that, and just place it in the center, and then you have to snap them closed. But they're quite difficult to snap, so I find if you take a pair of pliers you can snap them a lot easier, and it saves your fingers until you hear that click. So I've placed these little caps in all the positions that I wanted to be in, and now I'm going to glue those in. So on the sides I've put 5 of the little studs, and down the center I've got 2 on each of the little divisions, and 1 in the center of where the 2 divisions cross over. And on the top I'm going to be gluing 2 on the corner, 2 in the center, and 2 on the other corner. All my little studs placed on the bottom, the top, and now I'm going to paint the entire box black, and inside behind this strip I'm going to paint that all black as well. I've got these little poles that I've taken from a shoe rack, and I'm going to be painting those black as well. This particular pole is about 1 centimeter in diameter. I've painted the box all black, and now what I'm going to do is, because in the movie it's red, so I'm taking this pillar box red, and I'm only going to be sponging a little bit on, because I need it to be not too bright, because when I put the little section in here I need it to show up as red, because I'm not using lights in this one. So I'm just taking the sponge and taking most of it off, and then just going to dab it all on in random places. As I said, I don't want it too bright, so just a little bit all over like that. And I'm just going to do the whole box like that. I've painted the whole box now, and as you can see it's a little bit red, but it's not very red, so it looks a bit old and antique looking. So that's the top part of it. So it gives it rather a nice finish. So as you can see there'll be quite a nice contrast for my dial. I've got some spare pieces of polystyrene, and I've just drawn a really elongated oval, and I'm going to be carving those out, and I've done 2 of them for the handles. I've got a plastic soft drink bottle, and I'm just going to be cutting the tip off, so that all I'm left with is that little piece, and then I'm going to slice it down the center, and you need 2 of those. I've got my 2 little poles clumped between 2 pieces of wood, and I'm just using the drill press, and I'm using a drill bit number 4.5, so just drilling in 2 centimeters from the tip, and just drill through both pipes. And now I'm going to be drilling through the little plastic pieces like that. We're going to drill through both sides, so I'm just holding it in a clamp, and I've got it on the drill press, and I'm going to drill through both sides. Make sure when you're carving your handle that you're going to leave enough room on the side to support the handle or the pole that's going to be going in. So I've marked exactly where the pole is going to be going in, so I'm going to be taking it down another 2 millimeters off this side, so I've got quite a bit on the side to support that pole. I'm just using a rasp to shape my handle, so I've got it down to the size that I think will be good enough to support the pole, because I'll have the distance on the inside as well, so the pole shouldn't break through. I've got the shape of my handle, the shape that I want it to be, and now I'm going to take some 240 grit sandpaper and sand it smooth. I'm doing the same on the other one. Just remember, when you're carving your handles, you need to make them small enough so that when you've got your two poles next to each other, remember we've only got a 2 centimeter gap in the middle, so you need to make them quite small. I've got my little piece of cap or bottle all prepared, so I've drilled the holes and I've sliced through the top here, and now what I'm doing is, so that the holes stay in the right position, I've put a skewer through it, and I'm going to be heating just this top section with the heat gun. So just make sure you've got a pair of pliers or something to hold it, because it does tend to get quite hot. And take another pair of pliers and just open it out so that the pieces on the sides are straight. So you've got something that looks like that. I've got these old plastic boxes that have got nice windows in them, which I'm going to be using to cover my instrument panels. I'm using the silver cardboard that I took out of the boxes, and I'm just measuring my square, which I'm just doing is 7 by 7 by 7 by 7, because I want it just a wee bit larger than our original one. And now I'm going to be taking a compass and I'm setting it at 3 centimeters, and at the point of the square I'm just going to be drawing an arc. So just like that, and I'm going to just take a black texture and draw that in. So I want quite a thick line here. I don't have a thick texture or marker, so I'm just going to do it 3 times. If you've got a thick marker, probably be better. So just like that. And then on the sides, from the top point here, I'm measuring down by 2 centimeters. And I'm doing some marking it at 2, 4, and 6. And the same on this side. Taking those markings from the 2 centimeter at the top there, you're going to line it up with the center at the bottom of the square, and then just draw the lines in. So, and I'm only going to the circle or arc, so one like that, and the next one is at the next is 2 centimeter mark, same thing. And the next one. Make sure that you're lining it up with the bottom point there, and draw that one in as well, and then just do the same on the other side. And there's the design that we're going to be using in the one instrument panel. And now I'm going to take that plastic film and glue it on top of that. I'm just going to be using this glue stick to do that. So I'm going to be cutting the plastic to make it a square of 12 centimeters by 12 centimeters, and when I glue it, I'm going to be leaving a small ridge just on the top and on the sides of about 1 centimeter, so I can hot glue this into the box. I want it as close to the actual design as I can get the glue without actually going into the design, and then just stick plastic down. This is quite flimsy cardboard, so I'm actually going to take another firmer piece of cardboard and glue it onto the back so that it holds its shape nice and straight. To make the dial for the next instrument panel, I've got just a cap from a bath bubbles, and I've cut out a spare piece of cardboard and I've just painted it. It's not necessary to paint it, so you could just take a round disc which is the same size as my cap, and I'm taking a piece of plastic, which is the plastic that we just used from the boxes, and I'm going to just place that on top and then cut it out. But before I cut it, I'm going to be gluing it on with some hot glue. And I've got some different size straws. This is a normal plastic drinking straw, and this particular one is like a Slurpee straw, and I've got one of the large skewers that I'm going to be making pretty much like an axle for my knob to turn. So I've glued the little piece of plastic to the disc, but I haven't put any glue in the center here because that's where this pipe is, or straw is going to be going through, so it's easier if there's no glue there. I've cut the pink straw, which is the drinking one, to 4.5 centimeters, and it might be a bit long, so we'll trim that down afterwards. And then I'm taking the skewer and just inserting it into the straw, and then I'm going to be gluing all of that inside my cap. So I'm just using the little plastic piece that we glued together and putting it on. Then I'm going to take my soldering iron and I'm going to poke a hole through the center of the disc and the box. Then I'm taking the disc and I'm going to be putting it onto the skewer and then gluing it down on top of the cap here. Make sure that the hole that you've poked through here is big enough to hold the large straw. Now that I've got my hole poked through, I'm taking some of the plastic window again and I'm going to cut a piece out and hot glue it on the inside there, and then use the soldering iron once again to poke a hole through there. I've glued my window in and made the hole, and I've cut the straw down so it is 4 centimeters long, and now we're just going to put that into the hole. And now I'm going to be gluing this stick or this green pipe so that it's about 2 millimeters sticking above out of the box. I've got a spare piece of cardboard which I'm going to be using, and I've measured 13.5 centimeters because what I'm going to be doing is on the inside of the box I'm going to be gluing 2 strips on either side of my window so that when I put the disc inside to rotate, it's not rubbing flat against the plastic in case it pulls the plastic off. I've cut the little green straw to exactly the same height as the piece of cardboard that I stuck in to raise for the disc, and now we can put it all together. So I've got the little handle and we're just going to insert that through the hole there, and then I've got the disc that was painted black and red. Just going to put that on there. And I've got a spare piece of cardboard that I'm just going to be putting on top of that just to give me some extra gluing power. So, and now I'm going to glue that all in place. I've cut 2 small pieces of cardboard like that, which I'm just going to glue together. And I'm just going to be gluing them on the inside at the top here, so that I've cut a disc where an arc that looks like that, which these little pieces that we're just making now are going to support the arc. A bit difficult to see in the box. When I put the arc on, it'll stop the disc from moving or falling backwards into the box. So it's pretty much a stabilizer. So I placed the arc just above the circle so that it's covering it by about 2 millimeters, so that when it rotates it doesn't collapse backwards. And there's that one completed. So, and you turn it, we go 1, 2, 3, and then obviously it'll just go back to the black when you turn it. For the poles, I'm going to be cutting them down at 37 centimeters, and to cut the poles I'm just using my little pole cutter. So just place that in there on my 37 centimeter mark, and then I'm just going to tighten it a wee bit and then start rotating the little instrument. And then tighten it a wee bit more. Each time I rotate, I tighten it just a little bit more. I get a nice clean edge on that. So I'm going to cut both poles at 37 centimeters. I'm using a 1.57 millimeter wire, but my holes in my little poles are just a little bit bigger than that. So I'm taking a 2 centimeter piece of paper, and I'm just going to be making a small little spacer and filler that'll be going on the inside of those poles. I'm just taking a skewer and just wrapping the paper around like that, and then measuring to see if it's big enough. No, I need to go around once more. So just go around, and then I'm going to glue that. And then make 2 of those. And then just insert it into the little hole. And then I'm going to glue that little spacer inside, so that when I pull the skewer out, the wire will still go through. I've just cut the top off and the bottom off, and I'm using this middle section of the bottle because it's quite nice and hard, the plastic. So I've cut a little piece out which is 2 centimeters by 6 centimeters, and I'm going to be placing that around this little piece. So I'm just going to glue it onto the back so long. On the front of it I'm cutting it at a slight angle, just like that, on both sides. So just like that, so that this little piece here can hold the pipe in position, hopefully. And then I'm gluing down the center here, but I'm not gluing around the hole. So just put a wee bit of glue, but don't cover the hole. And now I'm going to take my soldering iron and just poke a hole where the hole is. So just like that. And now we can put it all together. To assemble it, I've just threaded the wire through the little holder and through the pipe on the other side. And then I'm just taking the end and just bending it over so that it doesn't slide out. So just bend that over. Try and make it the same length that it's not going to hit the bottom of your box. And then I'm just going to trim this one down so that I can start threading it through the box. So to get it through the box, I've just cut the wire a lot shorter, and I'm just going to be sliding that through like that, and then turning it and holding it at a bit of an angle so that I can actually work to thread the other one on here. So just taking this little piece and thread that on, and then place your pole inside and thread the wire through there as well. When you're assembling this, don't forget to put the other pole through the slot. So I've got it all connected now. Now I'm going to just trim that down and bend the wire downwards so that they don't pull apart. I've got a strip of the plastic which is 1.5 centimeters wide, and the length of it is 13 centimeters. And all I'm going to be doing is I'm taking this piece of plastic and I'm going to be gluing it underneath my levers like that, because the levers are quite heavy and I'm expecting that they're going to drop forward if they're not supported at the top here. I've glued the plastic in 4 centimeters from the top and I've just painted it black. The paint is all dry on my little centerpiece here, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them in the center. I've sanded my handles all nice and smooth and painted them black, and now I'm going to be taking them off the skewer that I had them on, and I've got a size 8 drill bit which I'm going to be using to drill a hole through the center so that we can put the handles on the lever. So I've drilled a hole in there, and now we get to put them on the lever, and then I'm going to be gluing them on with some hot glue. I've made 2 side panels extra because my box doesn't close quite nicely here, so there's a big gap there, so I've just made that one to close the box up like that. All my components are inside the box, and now I'm just going to seal the box closed. It's finished now, and now I'm going to be taking some of my Brilliance liquid floor polish, and I'm just going to be painting it on there to seal the paint and to give it a beautiful shine. I'm just going to do the whole box like that. So there's my little reactor box completed. So as you can see, the handles pull down quite nicely, and you can rotate the dial. If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.